Good morning, America. This is Harper. Good morning, everybody. If you have not understood yet, that this is a open government now, that you are able to look at something more strategically under the President Donald Trump. Now, you have the right to vote for who you want to vote for. You have that right. That is your right as an American. That's your right. Now, we have not seen a government like this in my lifetime. I haven't. Whereas though everybody's open up. Let me tell you how serious this is. The situation with Eli Cummings, you get to look at who's been slacking, who's been leaving without, and what they've done to the American people and black people. It's mostly happened to inner cities, so there's black urban areas, right? That's right. But why, if there's so much racism going on, then why is that an issue with the Republicans? Why is it an issue? See, when transparent government gets started, you get to understand the reality of something. And this is a reality of something, trust me. We have not seen a government like this, first and foremost. We have not. And not that I can remember, whereas though everything is open now, we can look directly into a situation. Because let me tell you something, even though we have been affected as black people in the country, we've also affected ourselves, in situations. We have to understand that. We do. And the more I look at it, the more I understand that even though we, as a group, as a unit, in the political arena, have not got any capital and all this stuff, whereas groups was given this stuff, incentives, land, and they have generational wealth and so forth. Okay, that's a real element. That is, and it's under concern. However, it's not solely that which has caused a problem for us. It's other black people also that are in power, that are in some kind of power in the government official and local politicians. Whereas though you got representatives for areas, Democrat representatives, where they are slumming, where they are misappropriating funding. This has been going on a long time. This ain't just started just happening. And see, what I'm gonna tell you what else. The crack cocaine epidemic made people not care about the black community. That destroyed a lot. A lot of people not talking about the elephant in the room. That crack cocaine epidemic made black people that are in power be property pimps. They say, well, these people are deranged, they're on drugs, they don't care. So let's just do what we want to. Let's misappropriate. Let's give money to certain people. Every other group is important to black people. Now, but see, y'all messed up black people who were in power that made immigration important. That's a sin. That you did that over your own people because of a political agenda. That means you have been the eye opener of failure amongst ourselves. You open our eyes. And the President Trump has been like a tool of support in that sense. I'm not saying he did it on purpose. I'm not saying that he has the best interest, but him as a lamb, as a vessel, we're interested in him because he's transparent government. He's transparent government. He don't hide what he say or do. When you can see somebody for who they is, you can have a better outcome, whether it's good or bad. You don't have to worry about it. We can talk about this now. Somebody come to the table with all their cards and say, if a relationship comes and say, look, baby, I'm like this. You can deal with that person for who they are. Y'all can get somewhere now. No, there's nobody hiding behind narratives. Nobody hiding behind a certain thing. Everybody coming up. So we can clean this up. We can look at it. But see, we got stubborn politicians who don't want that. They like what they have been doing. They like the fact that they've been misappropriating funding. And they like the fact that they have become that their own people, our own people, our own black man, have become a person of irrelevance, so that they can continue to get rich and live comfortably and not pay attention to the people. They're not being held accountable for something, you see. And they can go home to their beautiful enclave and their beautiful home and live in a mansion somewhere or a big home in a wealthy situation, and their whole city is in dire situation, disenfranchisement. These are urban areas. And you remember not too long ago, the president signed off on that $100 billion check for the urban areas. Now, I'm not sure how the laws go with that funding and who it's accessible to and what time it will be accessible. But the Congressional Black Caucus and the NAACP was all standing around taking pictures when the president signed off on this. But I'm not hearing anybody talk about that. You see, the president probably signed off on it, in my opinion, is because he realized it's needed. And as a president, you got black people supporting you. Now, he know he got black people supporting him. He want to do something for us. Oh, he ain't said nothing about reparations. I understand that. But he want to do, that brings him to a place where he's responsible of something. These people supporting me and they like my agenda and they have a beautiful political awareness about things, and they're pushing for me, and let me show some stand up. Let me show some dignity in terms of their communities. You know, so that's happening. But it's not happening as fast as some people want it to, and as big, the quantity is not what we want it to be in terms of that. But see, there's a bigger picture. There's an elephant in the room. There's politicians that are over these affairs who are not doing due diligence. They're not practicing due diligence. And it's a crime. Even in Detroit, where I used to live, you see what happened to Kwame Kilpatrick? They throwed him in prison because he was a property pimp. But he didn't get a chance to really destroy as much as he could have. He wasn't there no 30 years, Mr. Eli Cummings. You know, he wasn't there no 30 years. So he got locked up, him and his constituent. They went to prison. They were muscling people. They were racketeering. Had a whole bunch of things going on. I lived in the city of Detroit. I know what goes on. But also, we have to look at the fact that if we don't practice due diligence in our own lives, nobody's going to want to give you anything. I don't care if you deserve it. Say if a child deserves his money, but he's taking it and giving it to all his friends, or taking it and just throwing it down a duck's back. Why would you give it to him? He may be deserving of it because it's his, but he's not responsible over it. He's incompetent. So why would the political arena respond to us with respect when we got our leaders in communities who are creating this problem, who are upholding this problem, who are holding the actual tools to be a failure of situations? Now, you know, I think black people in this country who was descendants of slaves, we deserve a good life. I'm not talking about necessarily immigrants, but you black people who are out there rooting against the president, that's what y'all talking about. Y'all talking about immigrants. Y'all not talking about your own people. Y'all talking about illegals and immigrants. Y'all worried about a people that's from a whole nother nation because you are used, and because we see that you're used, you puppets, and you are going to an agenda to save your seat in government and to let your party know that you will promote that situation no matter how much it hurts your own people. That's what's going on right now. And President Trump is pointing to that with y'all and making you guys look really incompetent. And I think it's good. I think it's a good thing because it actually goes on. So, you know, people from other countries can come here. You know, that's a God-given right to go, and there's a law concerning that. You can migrate to another country. You can disown your citizenship in another country and come somewhere else and, you know, promote their laws and come into their society and be an American if that's what you want to do. But you don't get to come in our country and have our dignitary and our politicians to favor you in such a way where we are eating a failure or something and living all kinds of ways and all out on the street and living in housing where it's no good for a dog. You take better care of dogs than you do people. And it's mostly black people that's going through this. So we are arguing. We got a substantial argument back and forth in the political arena through us Republicans and Democrats. I'm a Republican. But now we arguing. But look at this. Well, think about what we're arguing about. Look at the bigger picture. There's a lot more going on. I get it. I understand that. But look at the bigger picture, what we arguing about. We arguing about the safety of United States citizens against a people that's taking over, and they're in the millions, that's getting more aid, and our children are going lacking in poverty. Why would the president make that issue? Oh, okay, y'all gonna say for political campaigning and political, to make a photo op, to, whatever is for, it don't matter. The conversation is up front now. We're having it. So whatever reason God has used this conversation to come up front, it's a good thing. Say somebody get into an argument or fight, and the other person might not have my best interest at heart. They come around, but God is using them, or the universe, or however you want to put it, is using them whether they like it or not. They come up there and they may say something to make the situation better, but they actually came to do harm. That could be the same thing, but you got to pay attention, because look at what's going on. We got people that are in these communities ran by Democrats. This is evidence where it's in shambles. Now, you can argue that there's a lot of Republican states where any inner city is in poverty. Okay, that's an issue too. But at the same time, it is an issue. At the same time, if we don't practice due diligence and for what we do have, how are we going to get the respects of what we actually need? You see, people can kind of pimp you around when you don't even do what you can do at whatever you got. Why would I give you? I don't care if my son, I give him a car and he needed to get to work, but he taking it and hitting everything with it, bumping it up, not cleaning it. Okay, he may need it to get to work, but how long he's gonna have it if he's not good at it? So if he need that actual vehicle to get to work, nobody's gonna want to give him another one necessarily, because he didn't take care of the first one. That's kind of something you have to look at. So we got to be a certain kind of people also. And I'm thankful that we in this government today, so we can look at it and so we can say, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be doing this like this. Where is this funding going? Where is this situation happening like this? Because now, in order for us to get on the road, we're going to first have to clean this up. We're going to have to clean your behavior up. We're not going to keep giving money out and it's going to misappropriate it. That's what this is. We got to look at this. This is transparent government. Thank you for joining me.